Hey guys, I'm Tara Babcock with Zoomin.tv Games, and this is the very first episode of my show, Tara Talks. This is going to be a weekly show where we talk about some gaming news and then jump into a great strategical tip for Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm, my personal favorite video game. So I hope you guys enjoy it, despite all the skepticism I saw there in the comments last week with the teaser. So just let me know what you think and be open with me. I'll try to prove you guys wrong. Let's jump into it. Game development companies Square Enix and Electronic Arts have both seen their CEOs step down recently. Game sales were not up to par, and money was not being made as projected. Hitman Absolution and Tomb Raider are two titles that did not do very well for Square Enix this year. On the other side, we have EA, who did not do very well with Medal of Honor Warfighter, and didn't make it up to par with the online games The Secret World and Star Wars The Old Republic. Tomb Raider and Hitman are two franchises that I hold close to my heart personally. With those titles, I definitely want to see them keep growing and expanding, and I want those companies to succeed. So let's talk about a few things that they can possibly do in order to make sure that their sales are up to par next time. One idea is that the big companies can really just focus on 4 to 6 big games per year that they really take time on, streamline, and have the correct marketing for. Some ideas for this would be The Sims, Battlefield 4, and any Final Fantasy. Another idea is that they can focus more on upcoming markets. Things such as smartphones and tablets would be an example. I, for one, don't really want to see this kind of change, as I'm a hardcore gamer. I want console games and I want online gameplay. I don't really like to see the future looking more and more toward casual gaming. I still want that deep, rich, enriching gameplay. What else do you guys think they can do? For instance, let's consider Minecraft for a second. Made by one guy, graphics aren't that great, but it still did exceedingly well. Maybe there are things that game studios can do in order to bring their content and their storylines up to par with their graphics. As it is the first show of the month, it's nice to kind of look forward to the new game releases that are coming out this month. I'll tell you guys what I'm excited about, and you guys can let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Here's the list of games that are coming out this month and are really exciting. This will be a blast! Injustice: Gods Among Us is coming out this month. Now this is a fighting game with all of the DC Comics heroes, and it's created by the creators of Mortal Kombat: NetherRealm, and I am very excited about this. I have been excited about this since last year's E3 when they had the huge posters of all the butts of the characters in the game. I cannot wait to play this fighting game, and I cannot wait to see the dirtier, darker side of DC Comics. The release date for Injustice: Gods Among Us is April 16th in the US and 3 days later in Europe on April 19th.
Sulu, take the bridge. Spock, you're coming with me.
Another title release I am really excited about is the new Star Trek game. Now this is set after the events of the 2009 Star Trek reboot, and it's a built-from-the-ground-up co-op featuring Kirk and Spock as the two main characters. Don't act like you're not excited for this one. The release date is April 23rd in the US and 2 days later in Europe on April 25th.
The whole island's gone to hell.
Dead Island Riptide is another great release that's coming out. It's a successor to the zombie game from 2011, and there's a new island, new zombies, and new missions. You're gonna love surviving the zombie apocalypse with this one. The release date is April 23rd in the US and 3 days later in Europe on April 26th. The Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen reboot is coming out as well this month. It's not a new game, it's just going to be a reboot of the old one. A lot of people disliked a lot of the things in the user interface, so all of those have been changed, rebooted, and if you played the first one, you're definitely going to get a lot of extras, including costumes. Xbox 360 cult classic Deadly Premonition is now coming out with a director's cut for the PS3. I'm really excited about this, as I know it kind of was a you either love it or hate it type game, and I'm excited to see what exactly they're adding to the director's cut for this PS3 version. And as I am kind of a PS3 lover rather than an Xbox 360 player, I'm really excited about this release. The cool thing about this game was that it was so bad that some websites like IGN gave it a 2, and other websites like Destructoid gave it a 10. It's pretty interesting to see the way cult classics form. This game actually comes out 4 days earlier in Europe than it does in the US. If you are in the US, like me, you're probably going to need to pick it up on the 30th, but in Europe you can pick it up on the 26th of April. Next generation graphics engines have been showing up everywhere in the last couple of months. What are you guys excited for? I know for one, I'm very excited for the Fox engine, as I love the Metal Gear Solid franchise, and Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to be amazing. As well as the Unreal 4 engine, as I have been following the Unreal engine and its awesome capabilities since the beginning. I'm also really excited about the Luminous engine for Final Fantasy, as Final Fantasy is obviously one of my favorite franchises, as well as yours. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that it is. So, I'm really excited to see that there are going to be less interactions with objects, less invisible walls, more and better textures, and just a more realistic, less ragdoll effect when people are falling or flying or blowing up. And obviously, your favorite and my favorite things in video games are blowing up. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the other things we can expect with these new next-generation game graphics engines. Something that's really exciting to me is having AI upped to a level that is almost as competitive as playing online with a real person. It'll be great for people who can't always find people to play with, and it'll be great for games that aren't necessarily available online. I am very excited to see better textures. I would like to see a bush that actually looks like a bush, and when you walk by it, your arm doesn't get kind of connected to it and just goes through it, and it's just, it's not that great. So I'm really hoping that they fix the textures and the object collision. Of course, we are all looking forward to more realistic light, as in magic spells, sunlight, reflections, and anything else that causes light to bounce off of things. So that concludes this week's news section. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to talk about next week, and I hope you guys had a great time watching this video. Now, let's jump into my favorite part, the StarCraft 2 tutorial. Straighten up, soldiers. I'm Tara, the Terran General, and I'm here to teach you about the new Zerg threat in Heart of the Swarm. Zerg in particular did not get any new early game harass units, mostly for mid to late game, but you will need to watch out for quicker overlord speed and burrow attacks, as the lair is no longer needed for these upgrades. The Ultralisk also got a frontal AoE buff as well as a stronger attack, making it even more potent at melting our marine forces. In addition, Hydralisks are now more potent in the mid to late game, as they are 25% faster now off creep. The Infestor Fungal is now a projectile, so we're going to need to dodge those balls of goo. Now that we've gotten the general Zerg changes out of the way, let's move on to the new units. 2 new Zerg strains have been encountered on the battlefield. Let's talk a little bit about them. The first new Zerg unit we're going to talk about is the Swarm Host. Blizzard intended the Swarm Host to be the Zerg equivalent of our siege tanks. As a siege unit, it can burrow, be invisible, and send out swarms of locusts that can overcome any army not equipped with AoE deflection or detection. The ability Spawn Locust is naturally on autocast and will generate whether or not the host is burrowed, but will not release until it is safely underground. This can be toggled off and on to regulate generation between hosts or for strategical purposes. The Zerg can upgrade the Locusts so that they last longer, up to 25 seconds from 15. That way they can spawn actually a little bit farther away from danger of our reinforcements. The second new unit the Zerg got, and my favorite, is the Viper. The Viper is a flying support unit and caster, spawning as the new hive-tech late-game choice for the Zerg. The Viper is an extremely potent support to any Zerg army. Dealing with high-value units like our Thors or siege tanks, or Colossi, and disabling large chunks of ranged units like Marines is made possible through 2 key abilities that they have. Let's take a look at those now. The Viper can create a blinding cloud that makes it impossible for our ranged units to attack in less than melee range for up to 14 seconds. Leaving the affected area will return our vision, but will allow the Zerg ample time to charge in for the kill. Oops. Our once secure tank line will be impenetrable no more with the Viper's abduct ability. No, I know what you're thinking, this has nothing to do with candy or a van, but you will be able to snatch even sieged or flying units straight to the Viper's location, enabling the Zerg to pick off our key machinery. Oh my god, that's gotta hurt. Although you cannot upgrade the starting energy of Vipers like you can with most other caster units, there is an ability called Consume on the Vipers, allowing them to leech life from Zerg structures and convert it to useful energy. I'm now seeing Zerg players doubling or even tripling their Evo chambers in order to use this ability most cost efficiently. No! Oh my god! You're gonna kill it! Stop! Build more Evo chambers! Oh my god! It's dead. Good for us, I guess. Well, there you have it. Some new Zerg changes and units that are going to be very effective and very scary on the battlefield. Get to the front lines, guys. Strap on your marine suits and don't forget your stim packs. So this concludes my very first episode of Tara Talks. We'll be doing these weekly, so make sure to come back next week. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and just let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want me to talk about. It'll be great. Next week, we'll talk about the new Terran units and changes in Heart of the Swarm, as well as some more gaming news. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.